Hello, it's 6:55 live in state-controlled Britain, and I've already been live today at 5 p.m. in the UK, and I thought I'd just pop on just to make sure that people know that I'm doing the new time, and if that's okay with everybody, just so you understand, I've been doing the 7 o'clock slot since May 2020, so 6 years almost coming up in this May, but. A few people have said that they feel it's a little bit congested around this time, and I had no problem going to 5 o'clock this afternoon, which was very successful actually. So I had more views this afternoon. So if you've been a regular viewer and you're a little bit disappointed that I'm moving, I do apologise. Hello, Gaza. But I just feel that it's something that I should do anyway for the circadian rhythm type of thing, because I'm always banging on about not being in front of a screen late at night. And it just seemed a perfect way to actually resolve everything and just go to 5 o'clock. So yes, I'm going to finish doing the sevens tonight. So it's going to be the last one. But it has been a good 5.5 years. I've really enjoyed it. I've had different guests and lots of questions. And I've got a fantastic database of questions, which has really helped me to do things like a module on a coaching course all about myths, because the same questions come up quite a lot, but they're always very different. So, I do appreciate people logging in. And as I said, I think last week, we do get so many views after the event, which is really interesting to me. So we might get maybe 100. I mean, this afternoon we had about 100 people on, but that will be about 1,000 by, tomorrow, the people watching the playback, which is really good. If you do have a question, I'm quite happy to answer it. Gaza, hello again. Deja vu. Yes, it is deja vu. Absolutely. Craig, hello. Hello. Nice to see you. Nancy, nice to see you here, which is great. And we've got, yes, some laughter going on. And Richard, evening from Stasi-controlled Britain. Yes. Wow, some of the things that have happened recently. I can't believe it. We had a university, and there was a chap doing, whether you like Charlie Kirk or not is irrelevant. I'm just going to use Charlie Kirk as the example. He would set up a table and then he would talk. Okay, so there was a chap who had permission to film outside a university and pretty open to any question. It wasn't offensive at all. It was all videoed, by the way. And somebody who didn't like what he was saying attacked him, turned over the table, and brilliantly, the guy asking the questions grabbed him round his neck, the attacker, and said he was making a citizen arrest. Police turned up. Wonder if you can guess who they arrested. Yep. And the university staff all helped the attacker get away. So that's what we're living in at the moment. So when you say Stasi-controlled Britain, state-controlled Britain, sadly, that's what's happening. Teresa, hello from Canada. Ricard, hello. Hi again from Sweden. Thank you very much. The support is amazing. It's really good. Top of the evening to you, Zeus. That's good. Good morning from Australia. Yeah, good morning. Recently did a thing with Black Box Warning. She's from around the area, I think. Let's have a look. Cola Conky, hello. WD25, you ain't seen me, right? I know what that is. You ain't seen me, right? Yeah, I know that. Richard, Monty is a full grifter mind. All these things, there's lots of in jokes, by the way. Phil Richardson, will 5 p.m. be via school or YouTube? YouTube, sir. So yes, live at 5 on a Sunday. That's what it's going to be from State Control Britain, and then 6 p.m. in my Common Sense Carnivore group. So thank you for checking on that, Richard. Phil Richardson, I should say. Phil Richardson, yes. And then we've got WD25, rather be in State Control Britain than fascist nonce-controlled country. Don't argue about where we are. It doesn't matter. Richard, thank you very much. And Zeus, people using lots of dairy in their carnivore recipes, do they fail, or do they fall to the trying to reinvent the wheel category? What do you think? That is a great question. Now, if I'm having chats with people and they are finding life difficult on carnivore and their body composition isn't going the right way, normally the first thing to ask, once we know that they are doing carnivore, is are you taking a lot of dairy, and then we could take the dairy out, and that tends to resolve many things. So dairy is problematic for a lot of people in my experience, but there are others that absolutely definitely feel like they thrive on it. So that's one of the things that I need to be mindful of when I'm answering this question about dairy, that some people absolutely love, some people don't. And you can try A2 raw dairy, or you can try goat, cow, whatever it is, pasteurized raw, many different iterations of it. You can also have it as cream or butter, of course, is dairy as well. Are they trying to reinvent the wheel? Yes, very often. You'll find milk powder to make sort of like carnivore breads and stuff like that. So I've got a carnivore cookbook, and I definitely have put things like that in there. So in my defense, firstly, I'm not strict with what everyone else does. I can be strict with myself, but if people feel that the only way they can stay carnivore is occasionally to have some carnivore inverted commas bread, so as long as it is, like I say, milk powder and butter and egg yolk and all that, I'm pretty happy with that, because I would rather them be 95% carnivore or 90% carnivore than 95% standard American diet, standard Western diet, because that's not going to do them any favors. So I do understand that. It is a little bit akin, I suppose, to, when vegans have bacon, so it's not bacon, but it looks like bacon, or their impossible meat burgers and all that. I think it is very situational, but if dairy is causing you a problem, then obviously they shouldn't be doing that anyway, because dairy is not helping them in any way, shape or form. But I get your question, because most of the things that you see that are dairy related is, it's trying to do what you said, reinvent the wheel, I suppose, which is the best thing, which is the best way to describe it, reinventing the wheel, yes, or trying to have their cake and eat it too, maybe. I don't know if that's a bit too corny, but that's what I would say anyway. So if that is helpful, it's a good question though, because it does tend to come up a lot, doesn't it, that people doing these fancy pants recipes, and there's always a little bit of milk powder, and they're going to make some muffins or something like that. So yeah, good question. That's a really good question. So let's have a look at the next one. Does carnivore affect adult stem cell production, plus or minus, or is it just that due to the attenuation of chronic inflammation, the intracellular signaling pathways are appropriately operational? Mr. Beaumont, swallowing a dictionary this evening, which is great. Yeah, I suppose. Right, let's look at adult stem cells. Firstly, nutrition will be definitely one of the roles that's going to, one of the things that's going to play a major part in your production of adult stem cells, because it's coming from the bone marrow, and the ligands there are going to keep that stem cell production within the bone marrow and release it at a certain point. You're absolutely right there. So carnivore will affect the production in one way, as in, because it's firstly possibly producing a better environment nutritionally wise in the bone marrow, then you possibly will get slightly more production. But you could be right as well about the lowering of a systemic inflammation could be one of the things that are stopping the release. So if you imagine the stem cells are in the bone marrow, and it's a bit like this, a very bad analogy, but balloons, the balloon being the stem cell, and the like a string tying it to the branches being the ligand, and you just cut it so it releases more, and there's more release. So that could be it. I think that's the thing. So chronic inflammation will, basically chronic inflammation, which is the thing we're talking about. There's a question just coming up about that as well. will dampen the immune response. And adult stem cell release is an immune response. So if you've got that inflammation there, it could actually dampen it down. So you're right about the things like the communication between cells and the transmission between cells and the nucleus and gene expression. Because those pathways are operationally better, more effective, more efficient, then you will get more cell growth and differentiation and all the things that repair the body. So yes. That's good. That's a good question from Mr. Beaumont. I'm really surprised how many people are tuned in, which is really nice because I did the 5 o'clock today, by the way. I think that's good. Meat and Sunshine Girl. Hello again from San Diego. Yes, San Diego. I wonder, is it hot there right now, or is it an ice storm? Because we were talking about this with Lee Copus earlier. He was sitting alongside me or co-hosting alongside me today when I did my 5 o'clock, and we were talking about the weather, and basically we were talking about the fact that because we now have little communities, we have so many different weather reports. We can have people saying it's sunny but it's icy, and it's quite surprising. Just the weather. So what's it like in San Diego? And that'd be good. So yes, it is me. I'm just messaging someone there. It is me that you saw at 5 o'clock, and there's not going to be Lee. It is just me right now. Do apologize, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And I think this will be the last one, although it has surprised me how many people are tuned in. But there you go. So, right, that's it's hot and I'm sunning in the backyard in my swimsuit. Right. Thank you very much for that. It's 7 p.m. here in Britain. It's cold, it's rainy, and really horrible and dark. But yes, I'm now very jealous, but good for you. I like it when people are in a good situation. So that's Meat and Sunshine Girl. But I should have known, shouldn't I, from the name that it was going to be sunny. Terrorized is saying, good morning, Stephen, and everybody. How polite. That's very nice. So should we do the next question? Shall we do that? Yes. So C-reactive protein. Could you please tell the difference between CRP, C-reactive protein, and HSCRP? So high-sensitive C-reactive protein. So C-reactive protein is a protein produced by the body in response to inflammation. Hence the word C-reactive protein, because it reacts, and it was extensively used as a general mark of inflammation. And obviously, high sensitive CRP is a higher sensitivity reading. So what we are able to do now is detect lower levels, because what used to happen, CRP is less than 5 is good. So, and then the range started to be, modified when it became a little bit more nuanced, and the testing techniques got better and better. And then we was able to do high sensitive, so the lower levels of CRP. And this is one of the things that's always bad with blood testing, half-lives and sort of absolute quantities can make things very difficult, and how fragile they are and how long they can be preserved. All of those sort of things can make these readings difficult to get in an accurate fashion. So when we got the high sensitive CRP, it was a bit of a godsend, because it's a very good marker. It's not the best, it's not the be all and end all, but it's pretty wide and fantastic and helpful. Being able to do a high sensitive CRP was really good. So yeah, excellent. I like the way. One of the things that I'm quite proud of is the fact that I do continual professional development. I don't know if everybody online does that, and like to stay on top of things. So it's been interesting to see the development of the tests. And that is one of those that's just got better and better as we go. WD25, I hope that answered your question, Lisa. Thank you very much. Just a tip, BPC157 just worked to stop acid reflux, which I've had for weeks after norovirus, the same flipping day. Wow. Carnivore has got rid of it for almost 17 months. I love this sort of thing, because I tried BPC157, and you know, it's a peptide basically, and many people think it gives you a healing effect. I tried it when I didn't need any healing, so I can't really say it helped me. I didn't feel any different, but when people give me these stories, anecdotes, report back how it's worked for them, that's great to know, because that goes in my data bank of what people have said about it. Be nice to have Jonathan back on, because Jonathan's like the guy, isn't he, for those sort of for supplements and those sort of nuanced supplements. You know, obviously going through his own personal journey, and I do think people going through their own personal journey are about the best people to talk to. And he's got inflammation, and he's had pain management that he needs to do for, you know, mechanical injury. So, you know, it's something that, yeah, shame he's not here to talk about it. But anyway, yes, definitely, you know, it's claimed to be able to repair tissue, reduce inflammation, and you found that it's helped you with your acid reflux. So that's pretty good. I'm impressed. That's very good. See, loads of questions now. Bart K also benefited from it. There you go. Was that when he hurt his calf muscle when he was playing cricket? I think that might be what was happening. You know, these numbers and these questions might make me do a 7 o'clock as well as a 5 o'clock at the moment. But anyway, well, let's have a look at the next question. Thank you. Jason, is fasting... oh, sorry, it's gone off my screen now. Let's do it again. Is fasting recommended when healing from an injury? Back in this case, thanks. Right, well, this isn't medical advice, obviously. That's not what I do, but we give you information and education, hopefully. So if I had a back injury, I would use a Shakti mat. That would be one of the things, which is an acupressure mat, SHAKTI, because I think they're absolutely brilliant. They're very difficult to lie on at first, but they're very good for back pain. I did have lower back specialism when I did rehab many, many years ago. But to answer your question, fasting, yes, it can have many, many benefits. So the main one is it's going to reduce inflammation. People also talk about autophagy, but I think that's a little bit exaggerated in the situation you're talking about. So that would be it. That would be the biggest thing. The fasting would definitely reduce inflammation, which is going to help. But that's going to help with pain, because inflammation is the body's way of healing. So we have to be careful about nullifying the inflammation that's going to be beneficial. Also, the other thing is, if you're trying to build structures and you need, you know, synovial fluid, or you need like cartilage or whatever, you're going to need proteins and fats to improve the situation around there. So you need to be eating enough for repair. So it does depend on the situation so much. It depends on what your levels of pain are, how long you've had that injury, where the injury is, what your diet is looking like, what your body composition looks like. But I think in the main, I would look at maybe an 8-hour fast overnight, maybe a little bit longer than that. But I don't think you have to do extended fasting. So let's have a look at some of the other messages. Yeah, I'm a little bit taken aback, actually. I didn't think I'd get anybody on tonight, so it's really good. WD258, yep. BPC15 is not FDA approved. Which finance company wants to test something which won't prove profitable? Yes, I understand that skeptical remark very much. Gaza, I tried BPC157 since 2 weeks for pain in the back. Since fall 20 years ago, no pain, no more. I try without really believing in it. So that's a surprise. You see, that's the best testimony. You go in with your eyes completely not thinking it's going to work, and it does. You know, so we can't even say it's the placebo effect. It worked. Now, plain devil's advocate, how would it have got? This is the sliding doors thing. Would it have got better anyway? That's the thing. We don't know. So, but that's great, Gaza. Thank you very much. Mr. Beaumont, we found the only meat eater in San Diego. Congratulations. Oh, is San Diego well known for veganism, vegetarianism? Yeah. So that's interesting. So people are being blown away by the results of BPC 157. And it was the lowest strength as well. That's interesting. Obviously, the dose is always really important with these things, isn't it? Because you're not going to get the full benefit sometimes if you're not having enough of something. So yeah. And I see that Meat and Sunshine Girl is, yes, it is, unfortunately. Well, it's good to be different. And I'm sure you're probably the most fit, vital, healthy person there. So just be the example. And, yeah, I didn't know that. I thought pretty much most of the world was just pockets of veganism, but not that much in the way of yeah. So Gaza is taking 1k milligram dose is mine. And Meat and Sunshine Girl. Half of my 25-year-old daughter's friends are vegetarian, depressed, anxious, ADHD. Yes. It's not a surprise, is it? The way the vegan vegetarian diet is, you're going to get those problems. ADHD, yeah, depression, anxiety. It's the BP. It's not the BP. See, it's the DHA, isn't it? It's all the omega 3s that they're missing as well for their brain health. I have ADHD, being sugar carb free. So yes, right. Let's have the next thing. Let's have a look. Next question. Right, working on my own, trying to keep up with the questions. Let's have a look. Moral victories all around, though, supposedly. So I'm not sure there was another question. So yes, here we go. BPC 157. Wow, it's very popular, isn't it? Is it supposed to help joint and muscle inflammation or more organ function? Yes. Well, right. BPC, someone else has asked in a private message. Yes, it's body protecting compound. That's what it stands for. 157. I think it comes from small intestine. Anyway, yes. So its biggest thing is supposed to be inflammation and joint pain and muscle pain. It can help the GI tract, apparently. So, that's interesting as well. And it's the reason I'm being cagey about this is because I don't know enough about it to say that's definitely what it does, because I don't have enough first-hand experience with enough people. But I've already now got a few people saying it's worked for them with back pain and stuff. But it is, yes, supposed to have effects on organs, but that isn't primarily what it's promoted for. It's mainly for inflammation and I suppose overall organ function, but that would be because it's reducing inflammation. Yeah. So if I do another one at this time, I might ask Jonathan on, because if we're going to talk about supplements, that would be not a bad thing. I was even thinking of doing a thing called Saturday or Sunday supplement and actually doing a live to talk about these things, and just as a sort of jokey title, the only supplement you ever need, and do it like a magazine program where I have a few things curated from, the news over the week, and just flash it up and say, here's Michaela Peterson talking about this. What do you all think? This is what I think. What do you all think? So I might even do that. Yes. And WD25 is saying maybe on Carnivore you don't need such a high dose. That is really a great, very insightful thing, because I'm always talking about the dosage that you're recommended. If you're eating this way, you tend to be more sensitive to these compounds, and you tend to have a better GI tract. You have less leaky gut. So anything that you're taking, you're absorbing in a better way. So that dosing is really important, definitely. So that's an interesting point there. So we have loads of people here. Lisa is saying that my daughter began 7 years now, diagnosed with ADHD. So yeah, she's a vegan. Yes. So people talking about that in there. I don't want to get into the personal conversations. Let's have a look at this. Meanwhile, I've healed, Mr. Sandwich Girl, I've healed from bipolar off all psych meds, but my passion for carnivore just makes my daughters think I'm having a manic episode off my meds. A cautionary tale rather than an example. Yes. You see, now reading between the lines, are you saying that you're, always talking about this way of eating and promoting it so much that they think it's a bit too much? In which case, that's one thing I do talk about that's problematic. When you become carnivore, you do want to shout it from the rooftops. You do want to say, this is the best thing since, well, I say sliced bread, but that's not very carnivore related, but you know what I mean. This is the best thing since sliced steak. So just maybe just ease off a little bit, just be a bit more chilled about it and be the example. The sad thing is that many people in the vegan vegetarian community can't see the problems or don't want to see the problems, or because they see it a lot, it starts to become normalized. So years and years ago, I had lower back specialism. I was part of the rehab. I was an advanced personal trainer, and I also specialized in the injuries, which I thought was really good. And so I saw a lot of people with lower back pain. So you become like, you think your world, everybody has got lower back pain because that's what you see all the time. And yes. So Meeting Sunshine Girl was saying, I've been instructed to stop talking about it. LOL. So yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Really? Yes. So let's have a look at the next question. Dr. Volker Menzel 3249. Do you think that low estrogen during menopause can contribute to muscle pain, especially TMG? So, yes, I know what you're saying that, because, estrogen is you're saying low, yes, and estrogen has anti-inflammatory properties. So yes, if you have lower estrogen, then you're not getting those anti-inflammatory properties. Or you could switch that around and say, yes, what you just said, low estrogen during menopause, but I just think low estrogen full stop. But yes, especially during menopause, when it is lower, can increase levels of inflammation in the body. Or, like I say, flip it around. It's not so there's not so much of an anti-inflammatory effect. So yes, you're absolutely right. And estrogen has influences on so many different things. The production of collagen being one, and it is essential, isn't it? When you talk about muscle pain, so tendons and ligaments all need connective tissue. So, and collagen is really important there. So yes, absolutely. Very simple question, that really. But yes, I think that's right. But the nub of it is the fact that it is anti-inflammatory when you have good levels of it. So the reduction of it will cause more inflammation. Yes, absolutely. Mr. Beaumont is saying pretty much what I say. Just continue to be the example, Sunshine Girl, and she'll come around. That's it. I think that's the thing. The joke I always say is, how do you know someone's a vegan? They tell you, right? So that's it. Don't be that. Just let them come around to it. And wow, the BP 157 thing has got everyone going. Which is good. NAC was the number one most impressive supplement so far. That's a long-term one for lungs. BP 157 for short-term use mainly. Hugely impressive so far too. Meat is the best thing to stuff in your cake hole. Yes, there you go. Meat is the best thing to do for all these things. But then you see, let's do what I just did. Or is it the fact that you're not eating the inflammatory plants? Is that what it is? Is it because your blood glucose isn't going high? Is it because you've got stable blood glucose? Is it because you're not spiking your insulin? Is it because you're not having all the condiments? Is it because you're not having the sugars? Is it because you're not having seed oils? Is it because when you go carnivore, to be carnivore, you must be quite open-minded, and therefore you think of all the other things like light exposure and all that sort of stuff, and wearing natural fibers, like cotton. We've got linen sheets, old-fashioned. But when you're in this way of thinking, we're a subset, aren't we? So maybe that's what's happening. So is it all of the above? Yeah, you see, this is it. There's so many different things. So I'm not going to lie, I'm very, very surprised. I didn't think I would get so many questions. I didn't think it would be so busy because, like I say, I've been doing this for 5.5 years, and it was getting a bit congested around this time. And so many people said, "Oh, it's such a shame. I can't watch everybody because they're all on at the same time." So I decided to do 5 p.m. and here we are at 7 p.m. and it's really busy. So I do want to thank everybody on YouTube. It's going to make me think about what to do. Maybe I should do the 5 and also do the 7 for a bit, but that's a lot of screen time for me, and I'm trying to get away from the screens. But yes, it's really nice, I think. For those of you that don't know about my school group, by the way, who haven't seen me earlier, if you just want to quickly have a look at what we're offering at the moment, it'd be nice if you come and join my Common Sense group. And there it is. That's what it looks like. You end up on a discussion board like this. You can ask questions and you'll get answers. Just loads and loads of questions in the discussion board. We've got a classroom here, and there's loads of things that you can do. I'm going from the bottom up to the top. So there's free Pilates sessions, the archive there, just to show I'm consistent. Videos from me 6 years ago saying exactly what I say now. How to defend what you're eating, lots of facts and figures beyond the plate. So these are all the environmental signals, cold therapy, hot therapy, light exposure, all of that, understanding the body. So a lot of anatomy and biochemistry, loads of free ebooks, loads of courses. It's a pretty fun thing. My Substack's on there as well, and all the playbacks. So you can always listen to stuff. Later on, there's loads and loads of transcripts, and the calendar is full of things. So look at this. Monday there was a live Q&A. There was one on 7 o'clock. There's 6 o'clock. I do Wednesday wellness. I did one with Dave Mack, and then I did one with Liz yesterday, and we've done 3 lives today. So there's lots of lives. And if you want to join, I'll put a link in the description in a second, and I will endeavour to see you in there, because that would be really nice. That would be I'd really enjoy seeing new people in there. I think it's the fastest growing community, carnivore community at the moment, which is really good. It's about 300 people, I think, joined in the last 2 weeks. Excellent. So let's go to Mr. Beaumont. Mr. Beaumont, let's have a look. Let's have a look. What are your thoughts on genuine, untainted, extra virgin olive oil? I love the taste, but also feel guilty. But really, nearly 0 carb. Is that detrimental? Right. Well, in praise of olive oil, you can get an olive, you can squash it, you get olive oil. All right. So it's not a seed oil, which has to use chemical processing, heat and extraction and deodorizing and all that. So, yeah, it's a very natural thing. Monounsaturated fats is one of the things that it's got a lot of. Okay. Saturated fats are good too. So, it tastes nice. You're right. It's 0 carb. If it's untainted, that's good. If it's cold pressed, extra virgin, I think that's good. I think in America, the reason I'm being a bit careful about this is because I don't think we have this problem in the UK, but I think we do elsewhere, where olive oil isn't necessarily olive oil and it's mixed with other stuff. But I think if it's untainted, if it's extra virgin olive oil, and you're just moderating with it, then yeah, I don't think it's that bad at all. Not something I have. I don't miss it. I used to love it. I worked in Italy for a long period of time as a ski rep, teaching people to ski. But yeah, it's inoffensive. I still prefer animal fats and oils. So, but if you like it and you're thriving on it, you could have a little bit of it, I think. WD25 saying, how do you know if it really is genuinely not mixed though? Well, there's certification and stuff. But anyway, there's Lisa here. This time really suits me in Australia. School group, I'm still sleeping. That's okay. But don't forget, you can catch up on the playbacks. So Mr. Beaumont says, because I headbutt olives on the kitchen surface until there's enough for dinner. That's okay. Yes. There you go. So very impressed with that very basic question. That's okay. The thing is, I don't mind tough questions. I don't mind basic questions. They're all good. They're all good questions. I'm just a little bit surprised about the fact that there's so many people here and there are questions in abundance. I genuinely thought that I would be just speaking to maybe 20 people, and it's not. So I'm just going to message my wife and say, I thought I was going to be finished by now, but I will answer a couple more questions, and then I will wrap up. So I think I'm really thankful. Actually, I'm a little bit touched actually, because I didn't think that I would get anybody, because I did say that I probably wouldn't be doing the 7 o'clocks because, like I say, so many people asked if I could move, which I did, and which I didn't mind doing. So that's great. So thank you, Mr. Beaumont. I'd love to meet Mr. Beaumont actually, because I'm sure he looks like Joey from Friends or something. But anyway, right, here we go. Right. Question. Thoughts on HRT? Some swear by it, others say do not do it. Wow, you have literally answered my own question. Because many people do well on it and some people don't. I'm sorry to be so blunt and actually just echo what you're saying. I feel, any treatment, any intervention doesn't come without risks. So there are always risks. There does seem to be an increased incidence of blood clots and strokes and certain types of cancers. So that's my caveat there. I'm not a doctor. It's not medical advice. That's the sort of information that we know, generally speaking, from studies. But in saying that, whenever you quote things like that, it's never on a carnivore population. So all the stuff we know about HRT is all people eating loads of carbs, 45 to 65% carbohydrates. There's just not enough population data on this way of eating where we've got less systemic inflammation, lower levels of insulin. So we can't say that HRT would definitely have those side effects, or actually could those side effects be worse? I doubt it, of course. I'm married to someone that went through the menopause, and the hot flushes are real, night sweats, mood swings, but that's all gone thanks to diet. So some people can get through the menopause with the right way of eating, but some people absolutely swear by the HRT. So it's difficult for me to say, because those people that swear by it wouldn't want to give it up now they're carnivore. So a lot of obviously come to me. They come to me because they're trying carnivore for the first time, or they've been doing it 6 months and they need some guidance. If they're already on HRT, they're sold on it already, and they wouldn't come off. If you get my drift, if I was to say, look, now you're carnivore, maybe you wouldn't need it so much. That literally saying it saved my marriage and all this sort of stuff. So I'm just going to agree with your question and say, yeah, that's basically it. Some people swear by it, some people don't. I feel with this way of eating, there's probably less need for it. That is just speculation, but I can't be more definitive than that. I'm really sorry, Boston Danny. I'd like to be more definitive, but I can't be. So anyway, let's have a look at the next question. Hopefully that was helpful. Right. Does smoked salmon still have good quality omega-3 6? Well, let's hope so, because I love smoked salmon. Yes, it does. It does retain its omega-3s. Actually, it's one of my favorite foods, so I should know more about it. But yes, I mean, I eat it because I want the EPA and the DHA, which we were sort of alluded to earlier when we talk about ADHD. And, smoking, it depends how smoked it is, because allegedly it can produce, AGEs, the advanced glycation end products. Don't think so, really, in more natural setting. That's one of the things that's leveled at it, but I think I think that it's a net benefit thing. I think actually there's less chance of that, to be honest, being a problem. And I'd much rather get the omega-3s. And good omega, as your question said, yes, a good omega-3 to omega-6 ratio is actually maintained. So, yeah, great question. Really good. Made me think, actually, because I try to not be too biased on what I like. And it's what I like. And I think it's very good. Mr. Beaumont, thank you very much. I've got the boat. I've got the yacht for $4.99. Thank you very much. I'll go and buy myself a yacht. Right. For those that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I'm sorry. Do apologise. Wild caught salmon. Yes. Yes. Make sure it's wild caught salmon. Yes. I'm absolutely really into this. Yes, that's a big thing. And I should have mentioned that. Always look at how it's sourced. Always, because that's going to make a big difference to the quality of the food, to be honest. Because we're talking about stress and the environment, what they're fed, all those things are really important. So yeah, thank you for that. That's a really good thing. So let's have a look. Thank you from Lisa. That's fine. That's okay. Right. WD25, smoked salmon is an excellent source of omega-3. The smoking gets my acid reflux. But if you tolerate it, that's great. Yeah, thank you. Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas. There was a big scandal with bad research that demonized HRT, one of the biggest crimes against women. Yes. This is really where I find things very difficult because I don't trust any studies now. The more you find out about studies, the more you just feel like it needs stopping and starting from the ground up again properly. Check out Dr. Louise Newson on body identical HRT, life-changing for many women in perimenopause as well as the menopause. She's the expert. So that's it. See, I always put all the information up if I can and try to be balanced and fair. Cautionary tale HRT, low dose helped me increase the dose. Terrible psychiatric symptoms. Took me weeks to make the connection. Thought I was going crazy. Yeah, you see, this is it. This is it. We talked about dosage, weren't we, earlier as well? Getting the dose right is really important. If you want to know what I'm drinking there, it is mineral water. The easiest thing to do to make sure that you get some electrolytes. Not in a plastic tub, in a glass bottle. I can go up to Buxton and they actually have the spring outside. And if you take a bottle, you can do it for free, but not many people are lucky to have that. So yeah, mineral water in a glass bottle will have most of your electrolytes that you need. And I tend to put it in a soda stream because I don't really suffer from bloat and gas from the bubbles. I like the bubbles. So that's great. Mr. Bowman, you and Bart are my favourite live streamers in the community, second to none information, barring Sopranos and a few others. Always interested in picking your brains. Thank you very much. Harry is great. I need to get Harry on again. Actually, we were going to do something on the 24th, but for some reason, communications broke down. Yes, and Bart, we were going to do a live recently, but he had a little bit of an issue at home. But hopefully, we'll do another one. So that is a very, very good thing to say because they're all people I really like. Mr. Beaumont, have you seen Black Box Warning? Liz, she is excellent. She is really, really good. So if you've not seen her, I would recommend thoroughly that you go and check out her channel, Black Box Warning. I was trying to get a link here, but no. Anyway, Black Box Warning. She has an amazing history. She worked at places like Pfizer. Yes. So she's got a fair few things to say about pharmaceuticals and studies, and they're all very interesting. Let's have a look there. So let's go back to the live questions. Let's have a look. Oh, big question here. Dr. Volker Menzel, do you think that the lean mass hyperresponder is a thing? Well, it is a thing, yes, because there is a definition of it and people fit that definition. Whether it's of any utility is another matter. But yes, so, I've had Dave Feldman on the show. I've had Nick Norwitz on the show, and I think Dave Feldman's work was really interesting, how he manipulated his LDL levels with different ways of eating, and Nick did the same thing. So, yeah. So you're looking at a triad of a certain level of triglycerides, HDL, and LDL. And most people that have the elevated low-density lipoprotein marker, and they have reasonable HDL. It's a triad. I can't remember the figures off the top of my head, and low triglycerides at a certain level. This triad, coupled with the fact that they have lean mass, makes them lean mass hyperresponders. It's a good name. What can you do with that information? I don't really know. And I think what they're trying to do is admirable, but the lipid energy model hypotheses make sense to me, that the more fat that's being shuttled around, the more low density lipoproteins will be available, because you're shuttling around fat soluble vitamins as well as cholesterol, so and obviously triglycerides. So it just totally makes sense to me that if you're more fat adapted. The other thing is, this is possibly also why you have slightly higher blood glucose for some people that eat this way, because in the cell it's replete with enough energy substrate from fats. So where is the blood glucose going to reside? In the bloodstream. So it all makes sense. But what can you do with that information other than, well, those numbers do that? That's great. So I think maybe 15 years down the road, when they've done a lot of studies, then, and a lot more research, and they've got the longer term and more outcomes, maybe that will be of utility. But we do know many things that we've known for 15 years that still don't reach the mainstream. We know that if you've got high levels of insulin and your blood glucose looks all right, well, you're probably going to end up being diabetic in the future. But we still don't use that information. Still many, many, many people developing diabetes, and we would be able to predict that, 15 years ago by just looking at their insulin. So, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. So let's have a look at the next thing. So Nicholas is saying, yes, more Harry, please. You guys had great discussions. Yes, he's very good. And actually, that's why I don't know if it's in this live stream or one earlier in my Common Sense group, talk about dairy, because Harry's one of those that he's got a genetic thing where he needs more dairy to be able to absorb the calcium that he needs. So excellent. Ricard saying, how much salt is too much when drinking salted water? I usually add a bit over half a teaspoon per 500 milliliters. That sounds pretty good to me. If you tolerate it and you feel good on it, then that's about right. Yeah, so I'm pretty good with that. I think that's great. Sort of thing I would do. Never heard of Liz. I'll take a look. Thanks, says Mr. Bowman. Yes, black box warning. She's brilliant. She's great fun, says WD25. Not sure about the name change, but the algorithm will adjust eventually. Yes. Now, she used to be called Carnivore Science, but she does talk a lot about pharmaceuticals because her background is that, she was a pharmacist, a chemist, she microbiology, all of that. So yes, you could say Carnivore Science, but she also talks about how the studies are manipulated and what they do, and she talks, in a great way. I mean, one thing I thought was really fascinating, a lot of what she does, she was saying, there's NDAs, but she can. One of the things that is sort of common knowledge is, if the pharmaceuticals companies are developing drugs for one thing and they've got one drug here, but this drug here has satellite drug potential, so if they take this drug, it's going to help condition A, but it might have some side effects where we can sell a medication B, C, and D. But if the other one does well for the condition but doesn't have these satellite possibilities, they'll go with the one business. They'll go with the one that has the satellite prescriptions as an option. So, lovely stuff like that, which is really fascinating. She's very funny as well, which really helps, especially when you're talking about things that would make you cry. The more I learn about pharmaceutical companies, and I did a Substack last week about the nefarious investments. What's their word? Oh, blimey. Capital. Where they invest their capital? Venture capitalists, buying generic drugs, putting $55 million investments in, and then racking the price up by 5,000%. It's just incredible what they get away with. And that went to court, that 5,000% increase, and it was deemed to be not illegal. It was immoral, but it wasn't illegal, so that's fine. They can do it. Well, when you learn about that sort of thing, you just realize that the pharmaceutical companies are just business. They're just business, aren't they? So let's have a look. Chris is saying, my latest full blood count, my MCH, mean corpuscular hemoglobin, was slightly above normal, 33.5. Anything to do with this way of eating 2 years into the journey? It's very difficult to say with just that, because when you're looking at a complete blood count, a red blood cell count, so count, by the way, comes from the fact that people used to look under a microscope and count. You need all the other things. So what we're looking at there is looking at the amount of hemoglobin in a single red blood cell. It would be helpful to also have all the other things like the distribution width. So the size of the red blood cells, which is normally called RDW, it is in the UK and most things. And then we'd also want the mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration, which would also be very helpful. And the MCV, basically all the red blood cell count basically would be really helpful, and the white blood cell count would be helpful. It is what's your one? 33.5, and the range is normally nothing to worry about, to be honest. 27 to 33, and yours is 33.5. So it's slight, and there can be so many things that can affect the reading, but I would not be worried about that at all. I don't think there's a signal there, but I would prefer to see a lot more around it, so we can look at what's happening. Are the size of your red blood cells, so the distribution width will tell you a lot, because if there's lots of small ones and then intermediate ones and then medium ones and average ones and then slightly bigger ones and even bigger ones, the distribution width is this huge curve. That would be a problem. So yes. Carnivore Muscle. Hello, Jonathan. Missed you earlier. Definitely earlier when we were talking about BP157. So we'll have to definitely do another live soon, sir, because I think the one you did about supplements has had a huge amount of views and people have absolutely loved it. So WD25, Mr. Dr. Volkerman Menzel, Bark is absolutely brutal about that study, and Dr. and Mr. Norwitz. Nevertheless, I still follow both. Yes, well, I would say I know the study you're talking about. Yes, the keto CTA study was not very well done at all, as in the way it was rolled out and what happened afterwards. I did have Dave Feldman on my show twice, and the second time we were talking about the fact that the way the numbers were interpreted made a big difference, and they had two houses that were doing the interpretation. When they got the third one on, they realized that one of the others was not really up to scratch, shall we say. So yeah, I think it was very badly put out, and I know Bart hates it, and I never talk about it when I'm on a live with him, but there you go. They made mistakes. They made big mistakes, but yeah. There we go. So what's the next thing? No Coke. I think we've come to the end. Really, Chris. Yes, was it Chris that was asking about the mean corpuscular hemoglobin? It's really difficult. I mean, I'm not sure what the question is. Asking, I mean, basically that number was okay, the 33.5. Let me just I can't get both the questions up. They flick it up as soon as a new question comes along. They flick it up. So let me so everyone remembers that first question, I think. Can't flick it up. Oh, here we go. So Chris is saying this. So my MCH is slightly above normal. So that's the mean corpuscular hemoglobin. And then the next question, let's get it. Is yes, MCHC. So that's what I was saying. The mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration is the next one. So that's the average concentration of the hemoglobin, as the name implies, given the volume of the red blood cells. So yeah, 34.8 is right bang in the middle, isn't it? Yes, 34.8. So yeah, 32 to 36%. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, all very good. RBC, red blood cell count, is 4.42. Well, 4.42, and the white blood cell count is 5.65. So yeah. So yes, that's pretty good. That's normal range. Yeah. There's no real question there, but yes, normal range. Richard is saying, I'll check out Carnivore Science. BBW. Yes, black box warning. Not seen her stuff. Yeah, you really like her. I did do one with her, actually, recently. So that was great. And last question, Claire is saying, Michaela Peterson made a video a few days talking about how H. pylori played a major part in her poor health. She used quad therapy and then KPV therapy. Any thoughts? Yes, the parasitic therapies is underplayed, but she definitely did that. So yes, all well documented. I never really followed her stuff that much. I'm sorry to say. I think she's fantastic, and when I have seen her, I've always enjoyed her way of presenting and everything. But yeah, and now she's adding back ginger and rocket and mangoes, I think. So yes, let's do one last thing then, just so we can wrap up for the evening. And I'm going to thank you again. I cannot believe how many people we've had on. So firstly, that's now given me food for thought, because this was going to be my last 7 p.m. It was going to be my last 7 p.m. live, but it's been so busy. By the way, in the chat, I've just put, you can join my Common Sense Carnivore group, and it'd be lovely to see you over there. I've got a live Q&A tomorrow night, 6 p.m. in state-controlled Britain. This was going to be my last one, YouTube, but I think because it's been so busy and I've had so many questions, I'm absolutely gobsmacked and very humbled by it. I think I might even be here next week. I don't want to let anyone down, basically. It's a long day for me and my brain is frazzled. So I'm going to leave before the hour is up. I hope you don't mind. I started at 5. Well, actually, I had a consult at 4. Where we were going through some amazing things, scans and numbers and stuff like that. So I do enjoy this, by the way, and it's great to help people. So there you go. Ben is, oh, hello, Ben. Nice to see you here again. Hello. I prefer this time as I'm in Sydney and getting up at 4 a.m. doesn't work well for me. Don't forget, you can also catch up on the playback. It's always on YouTube. You know, you can listen to it again. I have tried to sort of edit lives down and then re-put them out, but I get so many people saying, I've already seen this, so I can't win. So yes, just go to my channel and you'll see the one I did at 5 today if you want to catch up on that one. But thank you. Yeah, see, Richard here is saying, yeah, playback is fine. Great, thank you very much. Richard is saying, thanks, Stephen, and everybody for participating. You've made my life really difficult. I will have a ruminate. So I will be here, I guess, next week at 7, and maybe it'd be a swan song. But yeah, I'm literally gobsmacked. Please press the like button. It really helps. It really does help. It doesn't seem like much. If you want to do a super chat, that's great. If you want to become a member of my YouTube channel, it is so inexpensive and you get access to many things that people don't see on YouTube, which is good. And yes, I'm going to end with this question here. Mr. Bowman, thanks, Stephen. As a fellow dog owner, I hope Rupert is back to normal. Yes. Oh, my dog. He was attacked over Christmas It was horrible. 5 hours in surgery, absolutely terrible. We thought he'd lost his leg, but he didn't. It was a bit of his tail. I stayed up. I'm not after a medal, because I tell you what, that dog will do anything for me if I needed him. So I stayed up at night, every night, to stop him licking his wound and biting his tail and pulling out the stitches. I did 3 weeks of that, and I've still not fully recovered sleep-wise. So worth it. And he's so loving. He's just full of energy. It's fantastic. He's not scared of other dogs. He's as he was, basically. Interestingly, having lost a bit of his tail, he's a little bit clumsy because he's super agile and so fast and everything. I think that will come back, because I think the tail has a lot to do with proprioception and agility and all that sort of stuff. So thank you. Such a nice question. Veterinary bills are amazingly expensive, so super chats are helpful. Or you can go and buy me a coffee or whatever you want to do. It would be appreciated. But thank you so much. Wrap around orange blue blockers after dark, Stephen. Yes, you see, this is why I'm finishing. I don't want to be hypocritical about blue blockers and circadian rhythms and all that, but I also don't want to let people down. And if you've got lots of questions, then I'm going to try and answer them. So yeah, I'm literally bamboozled by this. I just genuinely thought I might get 10 people on and stuff like that. But anyway, and super sticker from Terrorized. Thank you so much. I know it sounds like, yeah, it's only a little bit, but it really helps. It really, really does help. So thank you for that. And we'll try and get Jonathan on again at some point. And, when he's in the right situation, and we can talk supplements and we can talk about nutrition and exercise and all that. So yeah, right. I'm waffling on now. I'm going to go. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate the support, and have a good evening. And I hope everything you want comes to you. And I hopefully see you in my Common Sense group or at 6 p.m. tomorrow for the live. Thank you. Bye now.